everyone and welcome. This is the Left Lane Reviews, and right now I'm going to be going over living with the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta SEL for 15,000 miles. Thank you guys and enjoy. I'm going to go over the first reason why I bought this car. And that is because the first time I saw it, I honestly couldn't tell what it was. If it wasn't sitting in a Volkswagen dealership's parking lot, I probably would have assumed that it was just a new Audi of some sort. With its beautiful new LED headlights and daytime running lights, its beautiful flashy chrome grille, and just big out in front of you grille, it really just makes the vehicle look really nice. It has very nice sharp body lines and a beautiful full black panoramic roof that adds a very nice contrast to the Jetta. So now another reason why I picked the Jetta versus its competition is its turbocharged engine. Although for 2019 it's only available in a 1.4 liter, I still thought hopefully it'll get the job done. And with 176 horsepower and 154, I believe, pound-feet of torque, it definitely does. Although it's definitely no left lane beast on the highway, it's definitely perfect for all your around town needs. But I've noticed that if you don't drive it in eco all the time, saying like comfort, or it's just kind of just that first gear is really long and it kind of revs out to about 4 grand for no reason. But then in eco mode, it shifts as soon as it can, and it kind of remedies it. Another thing that I noticed is that the brakes at higher speeds are fine and they don't grab really hard, but 30 below, they're really bitey for no reason. And I thought after at least 15,000 miles that they were just new because it was doing that, but they still do it. Now, if you're a big Audi fanboy like I am, you'll actually notice that the Jetta's taillights are really similar to the B9, so 2018 and up Audi A4. The line right here that's an LED strip looks exactly like the A4's when it's lit up. So now another reason why I picked the Jetta versus the competition is its interior. I believe its interior is on another level, and especially its tech. With it being a Volkswagen product, it shares the family with Audi. So it has Audi's rendition of the virtual cockpit with a 12.3-inch screen. It's really intuitive to use and is my favorite thing about the vehicle. There is 3 views for the vehicle, and you can cycle the dash, you can cycle through them right there on the steering wheel. Here's your first and traditional one, the more updated and kind of techie one, which is my favorite, and then just a normal boring layout one. There is also a beautiful 8.2-inch screen that's angled directly towards the driver and is very easy to use. Although I don't know if I really like the touch-sensitive buttons, because I've noticed that when I'm turning the volume up or anything, I accidentally hit media. But luckily, to the steering wheel mounted audio controls, there's no worry. Another thing I don't know if I really love about it is the gloss black. It just kind of collects dust a lot, and a lot easier than I know a normal gloss or normal non-gloss would. How it is to actually drive. Now, like I mentioned, I normally drive it, I'd probably say 98% of the time I drive it in comfort or eco mode or custom, which I have for just sport steering and then eco throttle and eco acceleration. So driving the Jetta is super easy because the steering's really light and there's really nothing else to go with it. It has an 8-speed automatic. It never really searches for gears, and you'll never really see it in its 7th or 8th gear until you go above 60 miles per hour. Another thing that I thought was really weird when I first got it was actually its start and stop feature. So when I was first driving home and I stopped at a stoplight and I put my foot on the brake and the car shut off, I got really nervous and I was like, oh my god, the car just stalled. What happened? It only has 12 miles on it. So when I took my foot off the brake, I was pleasantly surprised when it just popped right back on. Then I remembered, oh, it has a start and stop feature. So now it's got really easy to use, although there's one kind of annoying thing is that if you're stopped for a long time and you have the vehicle in park, you'll see right now it actually just did it. It says ignition will switch off automatically in 30 minutes. So now if you're just sitting there like on your phone, I guess in your in your driveway, and you put your car in park, and then you're just sitting there on your phone and your car turns off, you can actually get out of the vehicle and the ignition will still be on because you didn't actually hit the stop button. So that's one thing that I kind of got hard to it was hard to adjust to, because I'd be sitting sometimes and all of a sudden the car would just stop and I'd put my foot on the gas to try to start it back up, because it'll do it sometimes even in drive, which I thought was super weird, which made me kind of nervous. But it's really easy, because all you got to do is just either really just like twist the wheel, or just like honestly just tap the brake or the gas, and it just like that. There's no rumble when it starts back up like I've heard some vehicles are, and it's really kind of just simple and intuitive. Now, another reason, and probably the biggest reason after I figured out the Jetta actually had it, is its lane keep assist feature. So right now you'll notice I do not have my hands on the steering wheel, and you'll notice that the steering wheel is turning and is keeping me within the lanes. There is not a vehicle I could find under $25,000 that had this and it looked this good that came with this package. It's my favorite feature of the vehicle, and it works really well, especially for only paying $25,000 for this vehicle. For example, Tesla just released, well, not just released, but around in 2016 released their affordable electric car, their Model 3. Its base price is supposed to be $35,000, but that only comes with collision avoidance systems, I believe, that will stop if the car stops in front of you. But you can go up from there. So just think about that. That is a fully autonomous vehicle. Well, not fully yet, but is going to be as soon as the government allows it to be. And that you can't really get with autopilot, which has like the steering assist features, which this has for under probably $45,000. I don't know exactly, so don't quote me on it. But just think, for now you can get them for around $22,000 brand new. You can have a almost level 2, I believe, self-driving car. Right now you'll see it keeps me right inside the lane, and there's even the little passing zones right there. It has adaptive cruise control, which works really well. Although I've noticed that when you try to adjust the space in between the vehicles or the distance, there's not really that big of a difference that I've noticed, but it works super well in stop and go traffic, even though you have to touch the gas to resume again. But it's super helpful when you just want to drive and really don't want to actually drive the vehicle, or on a long highway, or in like bumper to bumper traffic for a long period of time. Now I want to go over the collision avoidance system and how helpful it actually is. Now, this vehicle doesn't see pedestrians, nor does it see large animals like moose or deer, but it does see cars. And you know that it sees a car because it has, of course, adaptive cruise control, and then it shows you a little gulf on the screen in front of you on the road. Now, this also has collision mitigation, so it'll apply the brakes and give you an audible warning for you if the driver does not stop when the vehicle in front of it has stopped. So now there's been probably 2 instances where this has saved the Jetta's life. One where I was just driving through my town, I happened to be looking off to the right, and I just didn't know that the person had stopped in front of me. Now, it gave me I was probably going 30 miles an hour, and it gave me plenty of time. It gave me a beep and plenty of time to apply the brakes. I think they were preloaded because I just slammed them on just in case. So it stopped immediately. But sometimes every now and then I'll notice when I'm going through like an intersection and someone's taking a right or a left and they're not fully off of the road, even though it doesn't show up on the screen, when I go by them really close, it'll flash. It's like it'll go beep, and then like the red car will alert on the screen. So like saying that you needed to stop, that you were about to hit that vehicle. Luckily, it doesn't apply the brakes, but sometimes it just screams at you for no reason. The blind spot monitoring is also super helpful on the highways and rear cross traffic alert. That's probably the most helpful I've felt, because there's been probably 3 instances where it'll just beep for a car way down the road, and it's really helpful. Now, daily drivability is perfect. There's plenty of visibility throughout the cabin. There's no real big blind spots, and especially with the blind spot monitoring, you don't have to worry about anything. Again, like I said, the gas mileage is phenomenal, and there's really nothing to complain about. The Beats audio is perfect for when you just want to go around and kind of bump some music. Although I've noted that there's sometimes a rattle within the door if it's super loud, but that's just because of the bass, and there's nothing else. The SEL is also equipped with adaptive high beams, which is super helpful in the dark. It's kind of just, I guess, just a gimmick, but it is really helpful, even though it does kind of turn off sometimes when it sees street lights, because I believe it uses this camera, which makes sense. And this also has rain sensing wipers, and I've been in a couple vehicles that have rain sensing wipers, and this one, although it works really well, is kind of weird. If there's no button to like actually know that you've activated the rain sensing wipers, you just flip up one on the stock, and then it'll automatically find the right speed on how much is coming down. Even though, like on a Volvo or something, you just hit a button that's on the actual stock. So now mechanically there's been nothing wrong, and cross my fingers, hope there isn't, but luckily this is leased, so kind of everything is covered. And also Volkswagen has this really nice warranty where it's 6 years, 72,000 miles, and everything is covered. But the only thing we've done is brought it in for its oil change about 3 times now, every 5,000 miles. And that's been about it. We bought it with snow tires on, and I put the summer tires on. The only thing I've noticed is that it's a little bit of handling better, and it's a lot quieter. My gas mileage actually hasn't gone up, which I thought it might because of the snow tires but now the summer tires are on, I get better gas mileage, but I really haven't noticed any big difference. Alright, so now we're going to test the acceleration. So just to make sure, we're in eco mode, and I'm just going to floor it and just see. Alright, pretty good pull. You can definitely see that after like 3 grand, when the turbo kicks in, it just pulls right to the top. So let's try normal and just see if there's any difference. So I didn't feel any throttle response difference, and it doesn't feel faster at all. So I wonder if sport, there'll actually be a little bit of wheel spin. So let's just get to another spot and we'll find that out. Other than that, driving in normal, it's not really different, unless, actually, yeah, I can tell it's a little bit different than eco, obviously, because it's normal, not eco. Alright, and now we're in another straightaway. Sport. And again, just flooring it right off the line. It didn't, I mean, maybe a little bit quicker throttle response. The steering's definitely heavier, I can tell you that. And then, there's no quicker shifts. It kind of just drives, like if you're really not flooring it, sport will drive kind of just like normal. It's not until you notice the difference. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Now I'm just gonna try out the manual feature. So let's see, M1 shift. Oh, it shifts perfectly. That's actually super responsive. I mean, I've used it before, but never really just to actually drive. Let's try a downshift. Wait, let's like to get by these people and downshift. Not that like the Jetta's gonna be loud. Okay, it's definitely, there's about, I'd say about 3 to 4 milliseconds of lag. And then there's a shift here. I don't know if you can hear it. Here, let's try to go. And then ready, clicked up. There we go. Huh. It's pretty go, though for an 8-speed automatic, it shifts pretty good. Ooh. I need to slow down. Oh, downshift again. We're still actually in sport. So let's just see, this is a teeny little corner. We're on a closed course, everyone, don't worry. In full in, perfect. That was actually really nice. There was a little bit of float though, I noticed, but definitely not. I thought there was gonna be a little bit of understeer, but there actually wasn't. But definitely a little bit of floatiness. So now it comes down to it, and I asked myself the question, after 15,000 miles and looking at the market right now, did I make the right decision by choosing the 2019 Jetta versus its competition? And I think I've made the right decision. It does great on the highway. It's a really good looking car. It has everything, like from the tech point of view, that I want. It has driver assistance features that are really cool and work really well. So yes, after 15,000 miles, I would walk into the dealership and buy this same exact Jetta. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy, and if you want to see a more in-depth review on this 2019 Jetta SEL, there's another video on my channel.